Hi guys and welcome to the TCT. We are going to be talking about Pokemon and money, the new relationship and what's going on with that. There are going to be timestamps below. I'm going to do a GradedGem mini update and then I'm going to review basically where we were, where we are now and the potential future of the Pokemon card collectibles market and really give an in-depth review into all of it. It's been really interesting watching the videos all over YouTube while I've been doing pre-grading or inputting or sorting orders out. Obviously you've got Randolph, you've got Frosted Karibo who's done a big video on this. It's probably set it all off. And then you've also got Pokemon 102 who I do some videos with. Go check those out. Shreddy who's speaking about why Pokemon cards are too expensive, and just in general, guys, like it's really good to get all this content from YouTube and listen to it, get their views, and then you can bring your own views. Pokenomics, Alpha Investments, SM Pratt also did a video, Adapt or Die. It's really good to get all those perspectives, and now I'm going to give you mine, so if you're interested then that'd be great, but I'm going to start off with a mini update. If you're not interested in that, timestamps below, and we'll start with Pokemon and money. Right, the mini update. Basically, we closed to the 1st of April, as you all know, so it's a bit quiet here. Comms have slowed down a little bit. Victoria at GradedGem.com or the 800 number if there is anything specific you want us to go through. The big reasoning for that is because we had to get the February subs with the old prices honoured. That's done now. So now we've got a couple of weeks or a week and a half to get the order update system live and available to all of you. That's the big priority. And then there's also the fixing of the payment plans that happen in January and early Feb. And there's other things we want to do to improve the service, but that will probably be in its own update video. So apologise if you feel like a little bit left out or anything like that, but you can still contact us and we will be back open 1st of April and we are improving the service. That's the whole point, basically. Right, let's move into Pokemon and money. I think sometimes people forget Pokemon and money has always had a relationship. I think now it is so prominent we forget the old times and how it used to be. You know, if you wanted to play a Pokemon game, you still need to go and buy it in most cases. If you wanted to buy the trading card, you still had to go in there and buy it. There was still a trading, there was still a market. You know, you could buy and sell cards, graded, non-graded, and you know, money was definitely involved. It was definitely involved. It was a major part of how it used to run. You know, you'd build your collection and money was involved. You don't get it for free. That's not how it works. However, I am going to touch on how things maybe were before the last 12 months. And I've been in this community since 2015. I started doing videos in 2016. You can even still watch my first video I ever did. It is awful and it's me shaking. And it's my first ever PSA returns. And look where we have got to now. So I'm very much involved in the market and I very much, get all the information I can get before I do these sorts of videos. Yeah, and there was much more emphasis on collecting. That was the big thing. And if you stay around, I'm going to show you my collection that I have built over years of participation. And the emphasis was collecting, enjoyment, getting the cards you enjoyed, getting that Gem Mint 10 that you really wanted, getting that card population 1, filling your binder up full of cards. It was really enjoyment. Groudons, getting all my Groudons, collecting them up. I wanted to be the #1 Groudon collector in the world. I probably am there. Am I there? Graded Groudon is the Instagram handle. And I guess it was an escape from the real world. You didn't have to. You could go out to work, hate your boss, come back, play your Pokemon game, do some trading on eBay, and just really just zone out. Forget everyone else, and maybe had a relationship, and you could share Pokemon in that way. And Pokemon, it was always like this escape. I guess it was definitely, certainly for me, doing my Sainsbury's night shifts, and then the rest of the days after my 3 night shifts, most of the time, unless I did overtime, what I would do is I'd escape to this Pokemon world. I'd do my rubbish YouTube videos. I would buy and sell cards. I would grow my collection, and it was definitely an escape for me back then when I was a tad bit younger. And I guess what you did was you shared your progress on YouTube. I certainly did. On Instagram, I certainly did. You were like, oh, wow, I've got this cool card. What do you guys think of it? How cool is that? And the talk of money was minimal, but still existed. So, if you wanted to buy a new card for your collection, it did have value, right? The value was obtained from the last eBay sold listing, or, maybe you had a card that someone else wanted and you could do a trade. And it was a small community. And it was very niche. very niche, you know, especially graded cards, which I was mostly involved with. It was incredibly niche. There wasn't loads of big players. Logan Paul, you know, wasn't around in this sort of thing, you know. The big people back then were Gem Mint Pokemon Master 556, and there was a couple of other YouTubers as well who I used to love watching, and, you know, they always gave great advice, what they were going after. I remember the whole series of the Legendary Collection Reverses. It was a real fun community to be a part of, and everyone knew everyone, right? It was that's how it worked, and I spent a lot of time just speaking to new collectors because there wasn't that many of them, you know. They were just coming in, or old time collectors had been there past me, you know, and the people who'd like me had jumped on at that point, and they were like, oh wow, this is pretty cool, this is pretty fun, and that means things were very different. When cards hit the shelves, they were available. There was no scalping. No one was going around buying XY Ancient Origins or Breakpoint and scalping them all up and getting every single card. Or, you know, even Shining Legends was very much available. Evolutions was very much available. And that was 2016, so that's 5 years ago now. You know, it was very accessible. Everyone who wanted one could get one. Even if they decided to pay £5 or £10 premium, it was always available, you know, and there was always people making money. Of course, there is in that old time. There was many businesses. I was one. You know, I did my night shifts alongside trading cards and sending cards off to PSA for friends. That's how GradedGem started. So I guess that was the old relationship with money. It was there. It was there, no doubt about it. It existed. It was an important part. To participate, you had to have, you know, you were investing your time and money, whether it be in all areas or Pokemon or trading cards, you know. You were doing that. What there was investment talk, there wasn't graphs, there wasn't analytics, there was eBay sold listings, and you can negotiate later. There wasn't necessarily big price jumps and big price lows. There wasn't, you know what I mean? There wasn't the craziness, I guess, now we see. Charizard base set, when Logan Paul did his thing, zooped up and then came back down. And I don't think there was that level of craziness, really. There's a better word for it, but I can't remember it right now. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. It was a really fun community to be a part of, to be fair. I really enjoy it. I still enjoy it today, but I guess rose-tinted glasses when you look back, you know, you knew everyone, you spoke to everyone. A lot of our submitters now, I used to speak to a lot more, and it's a shame, really. I've lost touch. I want to get out there more on YouTube, on other channels as well, and maybe bring some of you guys in and do more of that stuff, because I think I'm missing the community aspect quite a bit at the moment. So then, let's move on to what changed, what's happened in the past 12 months. Well, let's start with the strengths of Pokemon, right? It's got a nostalgic feeling. It's got many strengths. People used to play it back in the day. You had Pokemon Go. Evolutions obviously brought a lot of people back into the TCG. And then, obviously, Sun and Moon was a very successful period for Pokemon. It was going from strength to strength, and then Sword and Shield was gone again. The games are very reminiscent. You know, I used to play Pokemon Blue, then went to Pokemon Fire Red, then went to Pokemon Ruby, where the Groudon craziness. You know, I think in many of our heads and hearts, Pokemon's a big part of our childhood and a big part of our feelings towards what did I do when I was younger. And I think for many people who watch this, many people go, oh, Pokemon. You know, I really enjoyed Pokemon, and you can find people who relate to that. They go, oh yeah, I remember my Pokemon cards. I remember my Pokemon games. I had a Charizard level 90, and I beat the crap out of some Blastoise who was level 10. I don't know, it makes no sense. You know, it's very nostalgic, and it's very emotional and emotive, and I guess sometimes that is overseen. So what changed this year? COVID, one word. COVID changed. Everyone was locked up. Quite literally, I remember in April, you know, everyone was just told to stay at home. Scientists, the government, they weren't sure about how bad this was going to be. You know, this could have been zombie apocalypse. It's been bad. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people have died. But, you know, and that no one knew, and it was a scary time. There was a lot of fear in the air. People didn't want to go out at all. I remember driving to, I think it was the sorting office in early May, and the roads were clear, like clear. Everyone was staying away from everyone, and what that meant was economics. It stopped. We live in a capitalist world. How dare the economy stop? That's not on. So the government had to go into overdrive and basically give everyone free money. Even more so in America, where they literally just wrote checks out to anyone and everyone. She's crazy. I've benefited not at all from the government money, but I'd imagine I'll have to be paying higher tax rates. But that's probably something separate for the future. But people needed money to survive, but some people didn't. Some people didn't got the money, especially in America. There wasn't, if you're doing all right for some reason, you do a web design business, or you're just very wealthy anyway, or whatever, really. You've just been given free money, which you didn't account for in your budget, or you didn't account for, and now you've got to find somewhere to put that money. That's very true. So around this time, around May, June time, we did our first TCT, Trading Card Talk, our first investment video. I came downstairs and I was like, we can't be doing nothing. We need to be putting stuff out there. There's news. My eBay store was selling out. I don't have an eBay store anymore. Like, it's sold out. Like, there was news out there. It needed to be told. And I remember doing our first TCT video, and wow, the response, 1 out of 10, by far, it outstripped everything. People were interested, people were engaged, they were listening to what myself and Tom had to say, and that was a really good feeling back then. So we made it a weekly thing, and then, that was good. I would say that was good. That was a good thing about it. And then, of course, I was watching other people's videos, enjoying that, and then you see investment videos anyway, like YouTube push recommended. Invest what you should save by 25, or where you should put your pension, or I just like, why buy silly stuff like day-to-day budget things, like is hitting my recommended because I was putting out Pokemon content, because I use the GradedGem YouTube account for my own personal browsing, and then on top of that, I was watching other Pokemon investment channels. That was definitely a thing that was happening back then. A lot of brilliant creators have grown out of this, that we've seen to talk about this, and that brought on new content creators, new influencers. Instagram changed. It was a lot more about, damn, I got this first edition PSA 10. Damn, I got this WotC booster box. Whoa, look at this. And things changed. We did a funny thumbnail about August time of me like that, and the sunglasses and the piles of cash and the Lamborghini, really taking the mickey out of it, because that's what it was. And that's how things changed. It wasn't ever a market I perceived this to be, but it's what it's become. It's become like Yeezys, the trainers. It's become very cool, like the clothing, Supreme or whatever, like all of that stuff. Like, it's become very in. Like, it's cool to have these cards in your collection. It's cool to have them as investable assets. Yeah, that's what changed. The participation changed because of all these influencers, the content creators, and people were locked up, so therefore they participated in this market more. Everyone had, the people who could have more money did, and they thought Pokemon cards was a good place to go, and that grew, and then that grew, so it kind of encourages other people to come on board, then the next lot of people. So that's what happened. We saw it here at GradedGem, the amount of submissions we got every month, and PSA have seen it, and every other grading card company has seen it. The submissions just grew and grew and grew. And I remember saying in August, it can't grow any more than this. Like, it can't. We were at tens of thousands of cards, and then Tom was like, "Oh, well, I think it will, because the demand's there, the popularity's there," and it did. It grew again and again and again and again, which is great. I can't lie. I personally benefited from this whole thing a lot, right? I've benefited in many ways, and we'll get onto that. So let's get onto the now. Where have we landed? Where are we right now? Right now, people who collected when I did, or even later, maybe even if you just collected 24 months ago. Even if you came into this 24 months ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, it doesn't matter. What you've seen is your collection appreciate in value beyond anything you ever imagined. Here we go. Sorry about the bottom bit. I don't know how to get rid of that, so it's staying there. And this is my collection. I've had to get this out of storage, which is in a safe in a storage lockup. And then after this, I have to go back and do that, which is crazy. It's not ever something I ever thought these cards were ever going to become. Money has surrounded these cards and other people's collections. And literally, guys, what did I do? I picked up the sets I loved. Neo Destiny. This was a freaking hard set to collect, guys. I'll tell you that. I remember doing the Shining. That card's ridiculous. I remember doing the night shift, saving my money up and buying a few cards and selling cards, and doing that sort of thing. And it was really good fun. And many of these cards I bought 2-3 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Some of them. Team Rocket was my first one that I bought, and all of these have just appreciated to realms I never imagined. I could have sat on my arse this year, done absolutely nothing, and made more money than I ever could have imagined. Done nothing because I done not, like, as long as I didn't sell it. If I sold it now, sure, but you have to sell at some point to get those returns, don't you? But the prices I paid for these cards was ridiculous. Like, so the Team Rocket, you're talking like 30 quid. Like 30 quid per card. Like that one, maybe that was 60, 70, but you're talking tens of pounds here, or hundreds of pounds later on. The only card I ever spent a lot of money on was the Shining Charizard, which I spent 2.5 grand. But all these cards were all bought for under 1,000 otherwise. Very, very cheap cards back then. And, there wasn't the market participation. And what I loved was these cards. So I've been trying to get Delta Species for a very long time. Gem in 10. These cards were incredibly difficult. I still don't have the Pelipper and something else, which I'm still going after. And yeah, so that's what everyone's seen. Everyone has seen, if they were involved in this market before, they've seen huge asset appreciation. Asset appreciation. Not collectible cards, asset appreciation. They've seen their cards go up to values they never could believe. What did that mean? It meant investment videos boomed. Crypto and Pokemon cards were coming together. Alpha Investment spoke a lot about it. It created a grading boom. We saw loads of cards here, loads of cards everywhere. PSA, CGC, Beckett, absolutely everywhere. Anyone who was going to grade your bloody card, they're going to have demand. Valuations, people ringing me up going, oh, what, how much is this worth? Oh, what about this card? You should send this one. You should send that one. How do I do it? Blah, blah, blah. Loads of people new coming in. And welcome, by the way. It's good to see you. But that's what happened. And that's where we're at now. Loads of new collectors. And the supply was low. And I'm going to talk about Pokemon manufacturing lacked of the capacity. It didn't have the capacity to deal with this demand. It still doesn't now. We've got a big problem with Pokemon not being able to get the product over to the UK for people to buy. 5% allocations on Shining Fates. And yeah, they will come through. But such small allocations to the United. UK is a massive economy in the grand scheme of things. I know we like to put ourselves down a lot, but we are a huge economy. And we can't get Pokemon cards. Can't get them. And then on top of that, grading card companies weren't shipping returns quick enough. I know some of you are going to have a laugh about that. But yeah, there was no returns coming back. We were shipping out tens of thousands over the past 12 months, hundreds of thousands of cards from all our locations. How many have we had back? Not 100,000, I can tell you that much. I can tell you that much. And there was just a whole lack of capacity and infrastructure for this. It wasn't ready. No one was ready. We weren't ready. Any other grading company wasn't ready. No one was ready for this. The only people who could be ready were maybe individuals who could maneuver through this. But companies weren't. PSA wasn't. They had massive capacity issues. They've had to hire everyone they can. They've got a brand new build. GradedGem has gone from a 1-man and Tom half-man operation to a 6-man, 7-man operation with hubs all around Europe and now in the US as well. It's only now, the infrastructure, and it's only from the 1st of April, we actually expect not to disappoint people. It's not like I'm blind. I can see what is said everywhere, and at the end of the day, used to be very proud to send your cards to GradedGem, and I think there are a lot of people out there still who are, but some people are disappointed with the service because it doesn't match up to their expectations. Rightly so, I would say, because the infrastructure wasn't there. We have to build all of it. It all has to come from somewhere. PSA has to do all of it. Everyone else has to do all of it. And that's what's going on right now. The infrastructure is starting to meet it. Demand is high as well. Like, everyone's at home. Participation has increased. Influencers. And now you've got graders, you've got sellers, you've got collectors, speculators, and then content creators. And You know, graders are people who maybe graded before, but now they see an opportunity. They've got these old collections. They send them off again. Cool. Oh, I'll have, like I did with these. You know, I picked out from my returns. Oh, I'll keep this card. I'll sell this one. I'll keep, you know, that's what's happening. You got pure sellers who are in Pokemon TCG no matter what, just to sell, just to make money. And I'm not saying that as a dirty thing. I'm really not. You know, I'm the last person who's going to sit here and go after people who see opportunity. Last person. I you know, I believe in free will. I believe in you know, being able to make a profit. What's happened is the extremity of it has kind of destroyed the enjoyment of Pokemon, and long term that's going to have an impact, but I'll talk about that when I go to the future. You still got collectors around, people who still love Pokemon. I'd like to think I am one of those. I love Pokemon, but I think my love for the old stuff is kind of dissipating, and maybe because it's becoming an investable asset instead of a collectible, I'm actually more excited to send, give me one moment, to send, where we got it, some of these bad boys off. So I'm trying to become the first person in the world to get the full Pokemon Advanced Action flips, and I'm so excited for those to come back because I want to complete the Gem Mint 10. I've only got 25% so far. I'm so excited for that. I'm more excited for that than these cards appreciating in value. I couldn't give a toss in the most lovely way possible. In fact, it's made me not like them as much because it's making me question whether I'm responsible to be keeping these cards, or am I being irresponsible because this sort of money could change my life. You know, am I being stupid here? I'm not getting wrong. Good problem to have, right? It's like having Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench, but you've only got one substitute left. Oh no, which one do I put on? Great problem to have. But it is a problem, you know, and you have to think, right, am I being irresponsible here, not getting rid of these because there's a boom going on? But I still love these cards in one way or another. I've collected them. The Neo Destiny, you know, through my Sainsbury's Night Shift, Team Rocket when I first got into it. So much fun back in those days, getting the cards, sending them off to PSA, getting them back, trading with people and friends. Delta Species, trying to get all those PSA 10 hollows, a unique art set that I was going after. I love them. You know, I mean, I'll just show you some of these cards. They're absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Like the Vaporeon, the Mewtwo, look how amazing that is. The Espeon, another beautiful card. The Rayquaza, the Gyarados, look at him, brilliant. And the Feraligatr, lightning type Feraligatr, you know. And the best one of all, the Ninetales. Absolutely stunning artwork. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And, you know, I want to be the first person to get all those PSA 10 Delta Species. I think someone's probably already done it in the hollows, but I'm trying to get all the promos as well. The Mew and the Deoxys you saw. That's where the enjoyment's coming from now, is maybe getting the stuff that is less valuable, because the value has taken some of the enjoyment away. It zaps some of it away, because now I'm thinking more about the values, more about the investment opportunity, more about, oh, what if I did this? Well, I don't... You know, and I think everyone else is as well. It's taken some of the enjoyment out. That's what's happened. You know, the enjoyment is being zapped out of Pokemon. If you want to go and get Pokemon cards from the shop, you can't. Someone's bought them. Someone's selling them. If you want to get your graded cards back in a reasonable time, you have to pay extortionate amount of money. And you're not getting those returns back you sent months and months ago. You know, sometimes I laugh. Cranberry juice, can't go wrong. I feel like a money manager now. I feel like, oh yes, your fun day is doing very well. You know, it's appreciating in value while it's a PSA, and when it comes back, it'll be worth 200% more than when you submitted it. There might be a 5% value charge. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. I never ever thought we'd be in this position. Ever. You know, and this is big money, and I guess I want to say that, yeah, this is great for me and my collection, and other people who'd been there 5 years ago, but actually has a big impact on new people. We're talking hundreds, if not thousands of pounds could be gone like that. If this market collapses, I'm not, you know, again, I'll go into the future, risks and the rewards, but what I'm trying to say is if this market did collapse, people are going to lose hundreds or if not thousands of pounds, from coming in. I've got no risk. I bought these cards for, you know, there's maximum here in front of me, £15,000 that I've spent on it, maybe 20 over a course of 5 years. that's not much. Obviously, this isn't my whole PSA collection. I've got a lot of other weird stuff, and I've got some loads of ungraded stuff, first edition binders, and I've got some limited sealed stuff. What I'm trying to say is that there's no risk if this whole thing collapses. I tell you what I'm doing. I'm buying new cards. I'm buying the PSA cards that come back, the first edition WotC. I'll go and complete the whole lot. I'd love to do that. It'd be something I'd really enjoy doing. It's not in my grasp or reach now, as it isn't for many people here. Yeah, so it's been a crazy time. It's mad, and like I say, there's no blame to opportunists. I don't have any blame on opportunists. Obviously, I think you can do it in the right way and the wrong way. However, I'm not there to judge anyone, and I don't think anyone else should be judging anyone. It's up to the suppliers of these cards and the wholesalers to make sure they get to the people they should be going to. It's up to the retailers to, like, if you go into Tesco and you pick up every single tin, Tesco should have some responsibility there. That's what should happen, rather than going after people. Or Pokemon should just have printed a lot more. They should have had an action plan. How do we get more capacity online as quickly as possible? So, yeah, let's move on to the future. I think I said enough there. Let's move on to the future. Where could this go? Where is the risk and where's the reward? What's the worst case? What's the best case scenario? Right, let's start with worst case, because, everyone wants to know the bad news, don't they? Danger of supply high and demand lowering. What do I mean by that? What I'm saying is there's a danger that Pokemon's capacity comes online just as Pokemon card demand is lowering. Because maybe, let's say, the COVID vaccine, it's gone to 99% of people in the UK and Europe and America, and the Western world is safe. So, and realistically, that's where a lot of the economies are, right? This Pokemon card market is being controlled by Western world economies more so. So, the rest Western world economies are all doing well. People are going out again. They're drinking. They're going on holidays. They're going dolphin swimming. Don't know why that came to my mind, but they're doing fun stuff which costs money, so therefore they have less money for Pokemon. So Pokemon card comes online, supply comes online, everyone's getting their grading cards back, everyone's getting new Pokemon cards. They're hitting the shelves, they're all available, but demand is lowering because everyone's having fun doing other stuff. Because, believe it or not, there's more fun stuff to do than Pokemon. I love Pokemon card collecting. However, I wouldn't want it to be the basis of all my fun. God, no. No, thank you. I like to do other things as well. Video games, and I probably really should start exercising. But I used to really enjoy exercise. So, yeah, there's just an unknown end of COVID. No one knows how this is going to end. We've never been here. Modern humanity has not been here, where COVID has had such a massive effect on our economy, on people, their lives, and money. Never happened before. And collectibles are going to, who knows what way they're going to go. Risk reward, participation lowers, enjoyment is lost because of this last 12 months. The people who were involved more have lost their interest, because actually they've lost their interest because they were really enjoying before, but now this whole new Pokemon and money relationships turned out, they don't enjoy it anymore, so they're not going to come back. Does that make sense? So that could happen. Participation lowers. And we could have a bad scenario where there's still hundreds of thousands of cards to come back graded and no one wants them. Worst case. Do I think that's going to happen? No. And I'm gonna give you the other side, which is the reward. So participation increases still, continues to increase. Cards have now become investable assets out there, like artwork, like sports cards, the high end, and people are really enjoying participating in this market, throwing some money in whilst also having a good time. So I do think prices will lower. Personally, prices definitely will lower because people will be spending their money on other things rather than cards, and that means you have to take a chunk of that budget out of your card budget. And the enjoyment increases. Supply of goods. We have a supply of goods to the young collectors, the children, families, content creators, but then also to the collectors market. And, you know, the supply hits both at the same time. There's no more of the collectors scalping all of this. There's no more of the young children sending loads of cards to get graded. And, you know, there's an equilibrium between markets, and the supply is done well. Pokemon doesn't just shove 1 million cards into the market. PSA doesn't just bring all the cards back in one big swift scoop, because that would damage everyone. Both those scenarios, it would damage absolutely everyone. Right. That's a lot to take in, really. And I guess what you have to kind of think of is how everyone watch all the other videos. I've tried to watch them, but all I'm trying to do is give an analysis of the current situation, the past situation, and maybe the future. My final thoughts are, because of this, because Pokemon cards and money have become so entwined like never before, there's a massive polarization in the community. Anger. You know, we get some of it for our customer service channels. You know, we hear it. We get complaints, which is fine, but sometimes it's just pure anger. And then there's polarization in collectors as well, and investors and buyers and sellers. There's this whole, like, for this should be done, this should be done. How about this? How about this? You know, you don't know anything. Shut up. You've not been here before. And then the new people are, oh yeah, but I've done this and this worked out well. Like, there's a lot of polarization which doesn't need to be there. People are allowed points of view, perspectives, free speech. You know, constructive criticism is always welcome. I'm always being constructively criticism on GradedGem, anything I do, because I think you have to be critical to improve things moving forward. Unfortunately, you can't just go, that's the problem, magic wand sorted. That's not how it works, but you have to be critical. What I'm trying to say is maybe it's become a bit too personal. Money has made it, it's made it a bit too important. Maybe Pokemon cards shouldn't have this importance in our lives. Maybe graded cards shouldn't have this importance in our lives, but it does right now. A lot of people are hanging on their returns. A lot of people are hanging on being able to get brand new products. A lot of people are hanging on creators giving them content to watch and enjoy and like and subscribe to their channels. And make sure you do that here. You know, there's a lot of dependency in a way, maybe, but you know, because of the money's so big, you're literally talking about a monthly paycheck you could be getting here, and the importance of it has risen so much in people's lives, and I don't know if that's a good thing. I know that realistically, the last 9 months, on a personal level, this has been incredibly stressful. You can see me in the old videos, doing the investment videos. This wasn't here. You know, I've put on a lot of weight. This is incredibly stressful. Environment. It's a lot of fun, but it's stressful. So therefore, there's a lot of things you have to think about. The wider impact this has on people's lives, on businesses' lives, on the Pokemon card market as a whole. The market isn't quite right for anyone. For all of those people I mentioned, for the collectors, for the sellers, for the buyers, for speculators, content creators, the market's broken. For all of those markets, it's kind of working a little bit for everyone. You know, if you're a seller and you kept some of your cards and your cards got in value, so you've made some more money there. Buyers, there is product available, but you have to pay higher prices. Speculators, you have to kind of worry about what's happening on in the future. Pick up a card that you think is undervalued, and hopefully it'll increase. Content creators, what can they do? They're all stuck indoors right now. They're talking to a camera and they're opening Pokemon cards, which are hard to get. This market is not right for anyone, right? GradedGem is not right for GradedGem. We want tens of thousands of cards returned in a month. God knows we ship them out there. So this market is broken in many ways. Doesn't mean it can't be better. It doesn't mean we might get to a thriving collectibles market. We might hit where it's bubbling. There's all of these people, every participator really enjoying Pokemon, the card market, potentially making money, potentially getting the cards they collected, potentially creating great videos to put out there for you guys. There's still a way and a path forward to get to that. But right now there is a lot of negativity and there's a lot of polarization. I guess the simple fact is there is shit tons of money in Pokemon, and whether that's good or bad is up to personal perspective, and how much that has affected your life and how much the importance it puts in your life is on an individual level. And it's not just Pokemon cards, it's all collectibles, it's sports cards as well. All I know is it's been a crazy, interesting year, and I thought I would do this to try and give you my insights, and whether you found this interesting or not, I don't know. It's not something that I'm going to do loads. I think it's just something, I've seen the videos, I've been watching them all over YouTube, and I kind of just wanted to put my hat in the ring, and maybe some people will find this interesting, other people will just think I'm absolutely talking rubbish. But it'll be an interesting next 12 months as well. Maybe I'll do a video then. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did or didn't like, dislike, I would appreciate a subscription. If you did, GradedGem is my Instagram, and hopefully I'll be putting more of my collection up there for you guys to see. Hopefully this doesn't come out the wrong way. I don't want it to come the wrong way to people. What I want it to do is just kind of give you my personal perspective. This isn't aimed at anyone. I'm not having a go at anyone. I'm just saying I've been involved in this market and this hobby for years, and I've never seen anything like this. So this is my perspective after watching all these other creators give theirs. I've kind of mumbled that in, and I've also had a first-hand experience of the graded card collectibles like no one else really in the UK. So yeah, I'll see you soon.